Quite often, as part of implementing a feature or fixing a bug, we would like other team members' feedback about our code. This is where we use pull requests. With a pull request, we essentially open a discussion in the team before merging a branch into master. Let me walk you through a real scenario. Let's say Amy is going to implement a new feature. So here on Amy's machine, I'm going to start a new branch, add a commit to it, and then push it to GitHub. So git switch -c feature/login. Now let's echo hello to file3.txt. Stage the file, make a commit, and say write hello to file3. Now let's push this branch. So git push. The first time we should use -u to set the upstream branch. We're going to push this to origin and call it feature/login. Now I need to enter my credentials because the cache is expired. All right, beautiful. Now here on GitHub, we see this message, feature/login had recent pushes 1 minute ago. We can compare and create a pull request. Alternatively, we can go to the pull request tab and create a new pull request from here. On this page, we have to select two branches. The base branch, which is often master, and the target branch, which is our feature branch. So before merging this branch into master, we want to start a pull request or a discussion in the team. Now, because we're dealing with a simple change, only a single commit and no conflicts, we can see that we can automatically merge the changes. Quite often, that's not the case. We often have conflicts that we have to resolve. We'll talk about that later. Now, over here, we can see the summary of changes. So we have one commit, one file change, 0 comments, and 1 contributor. Here's the commit that we just pushed, write hello to file3. Over here, we can see the summary of changes. So we wrote this line in file3.txt. Beautiful. Now, let's go ahead and create the pull request. In this case, because we have a single commit, GitHub used our commit message as the title for this pull request. I'm going to change this to something more descriptive. So we're implementing a new feature for social login. We want to allow the user to log in via Facebook. So social login, that's better. Here we can write some details about this pull request. So if there are things that we want other people to review specifically, we can list them here. Now let's go ahead and create this pull request. All right, here's our pull request. Beautiful. It's saying Code with Mosh wants to merge one commit into master from feature/login. Now, let's say I'm Amy. So I'm going to add Mosh as a reviewer. So over here we can see all the collaborators in this project. Earlier in this section, I told you how to add collaborators. So I'm going to add Mosh. Good. Now we have a yellow icon here saying we are awaiting requested review from Mosh Hamadani. So Mosh is going to get an email saying Amy needs your review. Now I'm going to open another browser window on behalf of Mosh. All right, here's Mosh's screen. On this page, we're going to go to pull requests. We have one open pull request, so let's take a look. Look at this message. Code with Mosh requested your review on this pull request. So I can go ahead and add my review. Now this box pops under this button, review changes. I find this confusing, so I always like to click away to close it and get back to it later. Here we can see the summary of all the changes. So in this case, we have a single file, file3, and we have this new line in this file. We can add comments to individual lines by clicking on this icon. I can say, this line is good, but it's better if you capitalize H. Of course, I can write a rich review using bold and italic stuff, but let's not worry about it. So let's start our review. So I added one comment to this line of code. Of course, I could add many more comments. Now I'm going to finish my review and write a general description saying, please make these changes and do another push. I can mark this as comment. I can approve this pull request, or I can request more changes. I'm going to request more changes and submit my review. Good. Now we are on the conversation tab. We can see the timeline of things that have happened. So initially, Amy started this pull request with these details. Here's the initial commit, write hello to file3. Then Amy, or in this case, Code with Mosh, requested a review. Then Mosh Hamadani requested changes. And here are the details about these changes. So the general comment, as well as comments to individual lines of code. Also over here, we see this red icon saying Mosh Hamadani requested changes. Now back on Amy's machine, let's make a change and do another push. So I'm going to echo hello with a capital H to file3.txt. Then I'm going to stage and commit all the changes, say capitalize hello. Then let's do a push. So Amy did a push. Now back on GitHub, she can come over here and request Mosh to review the code again. So this will send Mosh a new notification, a new email. Now I come back here and see this message one more time. Code with Mosh requested your review on this pull request. So I can add my second review. Once again, I like to click away and see the updated code. So I think this is great. I'm going to take this file as reviewed and then submit my final review. So I'm going to say, everything looks perfect. Let's go ahead with merging. And then I can select approve and submit the review. All right, the changes are approved. Beautiful. Now up here on the conversation tab, next to this reviewer, now we have a tick. So we can go ahead with merging. To do that, we go down below and we have this button, merge pull request. Now here's a question. Who should merge this pull request? Well, there are two opinions. Some teams believe that the person who started a pull request should not be able to close it. The pull request should always be closed by someone else. Otherwise, these pull requests are meaningless. Anyone can start and close them. But there's also a different opinion out there. Some people argue that the person who started a pull request knows about that issue the most. So when it comes to merging, most likely we're going to have conflicts. It's really helpful to have that person on board. So they argue that the person who opens a pull request should be the one closing it as well. So there's really no right or wrong. It really depends on your team's culture. Now, here we have a few options. We can create a merge commit. We can squash and merge, or we can rebase and merge. We covered all these options before, so I'm going to go with a simple merge commit. All right, our pull request successfully merged and closed. Now we can delete this branch. Good. If we made a mistake, we can always come back here and restore the branch. Now back on Amy's machine, let's switch to master and then do a pull. Beautiful. Now let's look at the history. All right, so this last commit over here is our merge commit. Merge pull request number 1 from codewithmosh/feature/login. Both my master and origin/master are pointing to the same commit. We no longer need this feature branch. So we should delete this local branch as well as the remote tracking branch. We already removed this branch from GitHub. So now we need to remove it from this repository. To do that, we type git remote prune origin. As I told you before, this removes the branches that don't exist on the remote, in this case, origin. So now if we type git branch -r, we don't have that remote tracking branch. Beautiful. Finally, we need to remove our local branch. So git branch -d feature/login.